Hello, I'm meteorologist Rob Carlmark in Northern California, where we are in the middle of an absolute ripper of a storm. Now, if you've seen in the news lately, we've kind of had big lulls and then things started getting fired back up. Now we're in the middle of a really cold one that's got a lot of major impacts. So these are weather impact alert days, the days that rise to where everybody's affected by the weather. Maybe it's driving to school or back for your kids. Maybe it's spending time in the mountains. Maybe it's between the two. The reality is this. For our Tuesday, we've got rain, snow, some thunderstorm potential, and gusty winds. And the snow is really ramping up today. Then for our Wednesday, we've got very low snow, down to 1,000 feet at times. That does happen every once in a while. This is every once in a while. And then for Thursday, we've got continued rain and snow and gusty conditions in the morning. Then Friday, in the post-storm environment, a lot of patchy fog. And then we'll have a couple dry days. Now, we are in the blue for most of California. That means above average compared to normal. And that's a day-by-day accounting that goes, it begins October 1st for our rainy season. Eureka is the one holdout. Eureka is one of the rainiest spots in California. And they're about 1.75 inches behind. By the end of this cycle, they're going to be in much better shape. That's not really a concern whatsoever. However, the snow has been. Early season storms were kind of warm, so we got rain rather than snow. But when you start throwing in things like this, the snow as of 6 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, foot, 2 feet, approaching 3 feet in some spots. We're going to add in a bunch more. And the Sierra snowpack is kind of a confusing situation. That's the snow that's basically bottled up water in the mountains. When you get lots of feet of snow from these cold storms, the inches and the feet are impressive, but sometimes there isn't a whole lot of water in the snow. So we'll have to see how this pans out in the future, but all the numbers are going up. Average to date, and then the biggest number of all, which is where we need to be by about April 1st. And then that's when things really start to slow down big storm-wise that could add more snow to the snowpack. So we're moving in that right direction. The Southern Sierra is doing much better than the Northern Sierra, but it's all going to be better once we get through this system. But we got to get through it. This is a ripping winter storm. We've got heavy rain and snow and wind as well. This is from earlier in the day on Tuesday. You could see that snow line is fairly low, right around 3,000 feet, if not 2,000 feet. And this is really significant. This is the situation where we start to see snow in unusual places that heavily impact people that just don't get that much snow, and they just don't live their daily lives, in places like Truckee, South Lake Tahoe, where you're going to get snow. So you have that equipment, you have that plan in place. So it really throws people for a loop. Some of the heaviest stuff in the middle of the day started moving down towards Stockton, Modesto, but we still have all of this. One important distinction is that there's main organized rain and snow, and then it becomes a little bit more spotty, and that's where we're transitioning to next. However, the reality is this. With the colder temperatures moving in, Sierra travel through most of your Tuesday, if not all of your Tuesday, all the major roads. There are no back roads, trust me on that one. Impossible. They're closed. They're not expecting it to be open until things change. Things are not changing today. The low snow, like I mentioned, to 1,000 feet is coming. For the valley rain, it'll be heavy at times, but then it becomes more spotty as we work our way through Tuesday, Wednesday. We've got one big band on Thursday morning, and then it's going to ease up as well. One other thing, too, is that as of the middle of the day on Tuesday, the temperatures were only in the upper 40s and maxing out on Tuesday, upper 40s. So this is a cold day as well. One of the reasons why we have such low snow. So we'll take you through Tuesday. As you can see, snow really is the biggest impact of the two between rain and snow, because while the rain is coming at times, it's more on, it's off. If you're in a downpour, sure, you could get some issues going on there, but it's really the Sierra snow that just does not relent at all. And then we get to early on Thursday, and it's widespread, it's low. We've got some rain as well. And then Thursday through the day, as the system leaves, we're going to be in a much better spot by Friday. I don't want to keep going on about the low snow, but when you're in this zone right here, it just brings in so many more communities like Auburn, Grass Valley, Nevada City, Arnold, definitely Arnold, Miwok Village, Murphy's, some of these really old, quaint mining towns, historical towns. They're amazing to look at, and it's neat for photos. But if you live there, it's a lot of headache because these are steep roads, there's long driveways, there's a lot of private roads. Who's plowing that? Who's got a plan in place? It's going to be a lot of cleaning up and just a couple tough days with low snow for Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. But it does end, and we start to move into better conditions for a couple days, Friday, Saturday, then another series of storms by Sunday that should be on and off through most of next week, although it's not as cold with higher snow levels.